One of Gambia's biggest GSM operators, Africell, dispensed $12 million to compensate COVID-19 frontliners. Ghanaians are embracing mobile banking to cope the spread of COVID-19. Association of African Students in Tunisia joined to support foreign nationals in the fight against coronavirus global pandemic. This and more coming on The World Today. It is 1700 GMT here in our studios in Banjul. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin on iAfrica TV. I am Amadou Kante, and now the news in detail. Now, Africell, GSM Gambia, dispensed $12 million to government to the Vice President on Tuesday to support the efforts to contain and defeat the COVID-19. The fund will be distributed over the next 3 months directly through the GSM AfriMoney to frontliners or to frontline health workers whose courage and hard work in this difficult time to keep Gambia safe. Receiving the check on behalf of the beneficiaries on Tuesday, Vice President Dr. Aissatou Toure commended Africell for the support.
On behalf of His Excellency President Barrow, I want to express our sincere appreciation to this institution for being there always when the Gambia needs them. This is not the first time you have done it. I am a witness to it. You have done it many times. Today also, I am not surprised that you have come on a big way. On behalf of the ministerial subcommittee that the President has put in place to manage the processes of the COVID pandemic, I wish to say thank you very much. The President expresses his appreciation. $12 million will go a long way in addressing a lot, much more money that is dedicated to the sons and daughters of the Ministry of Health, all of them either as frontliners or backseaters or on the other side, trying to make a difference and address the pandemic. I can assure you, these are the people that deserve it. A very risky job with a high potential of fatality. They have taken the decisions to take that high risk to come out and save the Gambia from the hidden enemy.
That was the Vice President, Dr. Aissatou Toure, speaking there on Tuesday during the presentation in her office in Banjul. Now, earlier today, the distribution process began at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul, where Africell staff coordinated the formalities. According to the arrangement, doctors will receive $2,000 and nurses, together with the rest of the staff in the hospitals of Banjul, Serekunda, Bundung, Biam, Farafenni, and Bansang, will each receive $1,000 every month until June 2020. Now, from that development, next we move to matters of the situation of the coronavirus. Now, as of the press briefing on Tuesday, the Ministry of Health will now conduct major coronavirus tests on all those admitted on quarantine to suppress cases of the virus in the country. Director of Medical Services, Dr. Mustafa Bitey, told journalists that his ministry has now got reasons to either extend the period of quarantine or go ahead with mass testing for the virus. Whether this move will increase the figures on confirmed cases in the Gambia or not, our Ibrahim Ba is currently on the press conference ground in Banjul to do the verifications. Well, thank you very much, Ibrahim, for joining us. From where will today's press briefing start? Are the arrangement the same?
Arrangement is slightly different, Amadou, because the excitement around meetings with the press officials is turning. It's no more the usual way with the Ministry of Health. Knowing the beginning, even though it was one case, the timeliness and the pressure or the attention given to the press conference was always, lively. But now it seems there is a sort of fatigue, and then, lot of, problem associated to in terms of respecting time, in terms of the number of people to face the press now, and the issues to discuss. The things are becoming more controversial day by day. So it is becoming completely difficult for one to predict what will happen unless and until the press conference starts. Yesterday we were told that the minister, although was in his office behind me here, he was tired because he's somebody who is having a sleepless night over the issues of coronavirus. So the director of medical services had to speak to the press. But as of today, none of this except the communication officer, the ministry, is yet to be on the ground, even though the press conference was scheduled for 4:30 already. It is about 5 now.
Now, what will happen to the number of cases if the mass testing is to be applied?
The mass testing is an option now, according to Dr. Bitte yesterday, that the Gambia has a reason to do now, because 2 cases that completed quarantine situation, period of quarantine, they completed it and then happened to be positive. So this was an excuse now that the ministry has to conduct the main test on anyone to be in quarantine center now on. And this is a situation where also they want to consider the increment of the quarantine period to 21 or 28 days, because it is the novel coronavirus is no more the same that they expected could be, noticed in a person within the period of 14 days. So meaning the number of tests will increase, and so the number of cases could also rise up in this country.
All right. Now, there are, of course, challenges in the observations of the WHO's safety measures. Is this a concern for the ministry?
Yeah, the issue of social distancing is a concern in this country. You recall the other week when we were reporting from Tanje, it was as if there is no coronavirus in this country. At the seaside, you saw what happened at the border also. Even at the press conference ground, until now, journalists find it difficult to exercise the issue of social distancing, because we all continue to come to the regular press conference in the regular manner. The way it was being done before COVID-19 is the same way. Our cameramen have to, struggle to enforce the social distancing. So not only that, earlier on today, we were at the RVTH, the Royal Victoria Hospital, now called the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, where the AfriCell money was being shared. You could see health workers, trying to exercise their registration for the sharing of that 12 million donated by the GSM company. So you wonder, what kind of Gambia do we live in when it comes to social distancing? So this is the call that the Ministry of Health continue to ask for people to respect authorities, respect these WHO, recommendations. They are safety measures, which if they are ignored, the speed of contamination or spread of the virus could be like a fire in this country, which no one is continue to pray for. No one is praying for this. But what is being done, what move has been taken for the community, for the public to respect social distancing in the public transport? You see it in buses, in all forms of transport. Even motorcycles are still carrying 2 people in our traffic. So the issue of social distancing is definitely something that the ministry should put more emphasis on. And it is a matter of time for us to see the press conference starting here, to whether this will also be re-echoed and who will listen is the question that we cannot answer at this moment.
All right, good observations there. Ibrahim, just lastly, when is the press conference starting? Do we know?
So the cameras are here, the media is set, so it is all about now on the court of the Ministry of Health, which I believe they are here. This is their ground, and anytime they could come out. But this is something that it is becoming very difficult to predict because before the press conference, this ministry, the technicians have to meet and then vet their figures and then look up to what to say to the media. So this happens daily. So you remember this press conference used to be held in the morning. So and then because of time delay, it comes in the afternoon. It became 2 o'clock. Now it is 4:30, and usually the time for 4:30 is, executed for 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for your time. It was our, of course, senior correspondent and reporter, so of course, an editor, Ibrahim Prespa, speaking to us live from the Ministry of Health in Banjul. Next, we move to Ghana and talk technology and banking because mobile banking is increasing in Ghana as cash transaction is becoming less attractive to the public due to the coronavirus pandemic. The mobile money service availed customers opportunity to send and receive money using their mobile phones. Financial institutions are shutting down their branches to halt the spread of the virus, and of course the three major GSM service providers have revised their charges on mobile money transactions. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Kwesi Appiah is here to deposit money on his mobile phone. He has been using mobile money services for his business transactions for 9 years.
It makes your business easier for you, like maybe going to the bank. You see a town like this, the network busy. Maybe you want to take the money, hurry to do some business. They say the network business, like the network is slowly. But when money came, I think it made business go fast.
The mobile money service allows people to send and receive money using their mobile phones. Unlike Kenya, which is far advanced in the use of mobile money service, Ghana has just in the last few years begun to catch up with the digital economy. The West African nation is on a partial lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. Health experts have warned that using cash can lead to the spread of COVID-19, so some banks have closed their branches to customers to prevent the spread of the virus, which is why many people are now turning to mobile money services in Ghana. All three major telecommunications networks in Ghana have reviewed their charges on mobile money transactions. Money transfer of $18 and below will come at no cost to customers for the next 3 months. The incentive is set to encourage many people to use mobile money services, but despite the convenience it provides, some agents of mobile money services say they face high risk when transferring money.
Wrong transaction.
When you make a wrong transaction, there are fraudsters who are able to hack into your mobile money system. They tell you they can help retrieve your money, but when you follow the instructions, they take all the money you have in your account.
Seconds now,
The central bank says it is working to minimize the risks involved while using mobile money services by blacklisting fraudulent agents. It has also urged telcos to develop robust systems to deal with the emerging risk. At the end of last year, mobile money transactions in Ghana recorded $5.6 billion, according to the Bank of Ghana. Analysts say the coronavirus pandemic could further boost mobile money transactions this year.
And from the report there in Accra, Ghana, we come back home and continue reporting on the health-related matters because in a bid to contain the spread of the coronavirus, officials at the Kanifing General Hospital have taken measures like mass screening of patients, visitors and staffs, and enforcement of social distancing. The hospital administrator told iAfrica on Wednesday that no chance should be taken around the COVID-19 pandemic. More details of that in this report by Juldenjai Suare.
Administrator at the Kanifing General Hospital called on the public to avoid any form of stigma against cases of COVID-19, saying it should be treated like the cases of other diseases. Speaking on Good Morning iAfrica program on Wednesday, Babukar Sen said people should be mindful that not anybody who coughs is with the COVID-19. Gambia registered 5 new cases of coronavirus, bringing the number of active cases to 6 following a latest set of 76 laboratory test results. For the first time since the confirmation of COVID-19 in the country, traces of local transmission of the virus has been confirmed on 2 cases. Since the announcement of the cases in the country, Gambians both at home and abroad express fear for the worst. But Mr. Sen believes that coronavirus should not be a cause for stigmatization.
But I don't want people to stigmatize COVID-19. It's a disease like any other disease, and it doesn't mean that anybody that has COVID-19. We have to be very careful about that. Well, this was a problem that we had with tuberculosis. This is a problem we have with HIV. So we don't want anybody to stigmatize COVID-19.
He urged the public to consider calling the 1025 hotline to report signs and symptoms of the COVID-19, which include fever and dry cough.
But let people not stigmatize COVID-19. Okay, the reason why numbers are dropping, we are not sure, but we want to believe that there is this fear that if I come to the hospital, they will diagnose me with COVID-19. No, okay? If you have an urgent case, if you have you are very, very sick, come to the hospital, and seek treatment. Our hospitals are open. We operate 24 hours.
For him, efforts to contain the spread of the virus are being in place by the hospital, knowing well that they are strategically located with a catchment of about 600,000 inhabitants. He said they have also installed hand-washing stations on all meeting points in addition to the screening procedure at the entrance.
We started preparing a long time ago, and we did that by training our doctors, training our nurses, our lab, even our support staff, the orderlies, we train them. We also make sure that we secured enough PPEs. Those are the personal protective equipment. We also make sure that the hand-washing stations are everywhere, and we also made sure that anyone coming into our hospital is properly screened. So these are measures that we have put in place to make sure that we are well prepared.
He reminded the community in Kanifing of its role to play in the fight against COVID-19 and that all should not be left on the shoulders of the Ministry of Health. For iAfrican News, I am Julden Jai Sware.
There is more news coming ahead, but for now we'll take a short break and come back shortly with the remaining of the stories. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Have your say.
Fellow Gambians, my government has approved a $500 million emergency fund, which the Ministries of Health and Finance will work on for disbursement and use to fight COVID-19 menace.
xaalis bi tege yomb na waaye xamul lu jafe mooy séddale bi niñ ko séddalee ak ndax danañ ko jox ñi ko yeeyoo wala duñ leen ko jox loolu moo jara laajte.
cos loo xam ne la nit yee tax ñu joxe ko te nit ñi ñoo leen fa teg te xaalis nit yi la comme xaalis yi population bi la wax dëgg yàlla li gënoon mooy ku nekk a gis sa boppa
man su ma sañoon daal ñu séedoo ko nu mu waroo buñ si def xaaj loo ñii diw nañ ko si ku nekk loo war a am nga am ko.
askan bi seen dem ak dikk bu ñu wàññee mu jël ko def ko si loolu noonu participer ko si loolu noonu ba nga xam ne danañ mën a ànd ak moom si wàññi suñ dem ak suñ dikk.
génne leen xaalis bi nañ ko génnee ñu def ko ñu defar suñu réew mi defar réew nag da nga koy commencé njàng mu baax nit ñi di faju feebar di faju tan feebar di faju dafa xemul kombo loolu affaire bi du kombo rek nañ génne ci àll bi yëpp ñu defar fa hôpital li war man mi nekk kombo moo war ka nekk fototo moo war ka nekk Pokaw Njóogu moo war ko nekk feneen.
waaye nit doo ko mën a wax mu teg këram joxuloo ko dara lu mu lekk soo ñun balaa corona dañu rey xiif moo ñoo rey.
nguur bi su nekkee ne 500 millions Gambie ñaata population bi ñu ñaata lañ.
2 point or 1 point.
ok 2 point boobu noonu su nekkee dañ ko war a séddale si nit ñi ku nekk ñaata la war a am.
million su bëri soosu noonu nañ ko xaaj jox xel benn xaaf ñu téyegum ñu jël beneen xaaf bi yóbbu ko ci communauté bi ñu téyegum.
o silang ni nga arda ko bulu courant lu sorota ani borolu sayin pentan lu panande nyante hakilo falol fanan kanne
ya foko nga ta si suo kono ha man sala million be maburu nga bulo kono man sana la kuol bebe kuo be kala jeto hana nyil min fankana fontolen ko nga ta si suo kono fotolo man tara man sa do kuol nin karo fate man tara kejo
xaalis boobu dañ ko war a xaaj ñu jël xaaj bi dugal ko ci wéru yaram bi ñaareel xaaj bi dugal ko ci askan bi.
Have your say.
Welcome back. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV, and now to the rest of the stories. We head to the U.S., where, of course, U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced that his administration is halting U.S. financial contribution to the World Health Organization of a response to the novel coronavirus pandemic. He said WHO's role in managing and covering up the spread of the virus will be assessed and reviewed. President Trump has blamed the organization for its decision to oppose travel restrictions, noting that the United States has a duty to insist on full accountability.
Today I'm instructing my administration to halt funding of the World Health Organization while a review is conducted to assess the World Health Organization's role in severely mismanaging and covering up the spread of the coronavirus. Everybody knows what's going on there. American taxpayers provide between $400 million and $500 million per year to the WHO. In contrast, China contributes roughly $40 million a year, and even less. As the organization's leading sponsor, the United States has a duty to insist on full accountability. One of the most dangerous and costly decisions from the WHO was its disastrous decision to oppose travel restrictions from China and other nations. They were very much opposed to what we did. Fortunately, I was not convinced and suspended travel from China, saving untold numbers of lives. Thousands and thousands of people would have died.
U.S. President Donald Trump speaking there. Now, the U.S. has been the hardest hit country in the world by the COVID-19 pandemic, with more than 600,000 confirmed cases and more than 25,000 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University. And now, from that development, we next move to Tunisia, where the Association of African Students and Trainees in Tunisia are extending assistance to their fellow African brothers who are in need due to the impact of the COVID-19. Civil societies, volunteers and associations have joined the solidarity efforts to provide food and essential necessities for migrants and foreign students in the country. Authorities also are devising measures to contribute in providing support for foreign nationals. Let's have more of that in this report.
Jean-Ferdinand Moeno is the president of the Association of African Students and Trainees in Tunisia. The structure is one of the main components of the African Solidarity Cell, providing aid and assistance to sub-Saharan nationals.
The African Solidarity Cell is the fruit of the collaboration between many associations. We are collecting and distributing donations to the most vulnerable individuals.
The Association for Leadership and Development in Africa is also one of the main partner organizations in the project. Dozens of volunteers have joined the solidarity effort, which started on social media.
Some individuals, enterprises, as well as embassies are supporting the cell by giving food and necessary products. The Tunisian civil society is also very active. It is open to the public.
During a hearing session at the House of the People's Representatives, the Minister of Higher Education and members of the Tunisian and African parliaments shed light on the state support to foreign students and migrants. Hundreds of people who are in irregular situation will also benefit from assistance.
The whole world is facing a humanitarian crisis, which is the result of the humanitarian and economic impacts of the coronavirus pandemic. The solidarity with all African students and sub-Saharan migrants is Tunisia's responsibility.
The Ministry of Social Affairs has urged mayors and civil society organizations to intervene in order to suspend the rent payments of the African migrant tenants and students. The COVID-19 African Solidarity Cell has called on Prime Minister Elias El-Farfer to decree a total exemption from penalties for illegal residents. This measure would help thousands of migrants who have been affected socially and economically by the pandemic.
From the report there in Tunisia, next to Ethiopia, where the government has given green light to non-financial institutions to offer mobile money services. More than 50% of the country's population remains unbanked, according to the National Banking Association. The banking industry have also welcomed the move, saying it will widen the country's financial space. Let's have more details of that in this report.
For 23 years, Fintech Kenya Limited has been assisting commercial banks in Ethiopia to modernize their services. And now some are offering mobile banking services.
Most banks are now adopting a lot of mobile technology in terms of the banking, and not only mobile, they're also moving into channels. And when I refer to channels, I mean internet banking and also agency banking.
The National Bank of Ethiopia says 75% of its population remains unbanked, and it has decided to open up mobile money services to non-financial systems. The National Bank of Ethiopia says it will issue licenses to mobile money service providers who will be required to have a minimum of about $1.6 million that will be put in a blocked account. And only the government will be allowed to hold over 20% shares of any licensed mobile money service provider. James Kanagwa, a banker, says this new initiative will open up the country's financial space more.
It will assist very much in expanding the sector because the telcos are everywhere where the banks are not. The banks need telecom infrastructure to leverage. But this will help even the collaboration with the banks. The banks will focus on their core, using the telecom infrastructure to attract more customers into the system. It will also help in the financial deepening because that's where every developing country is struggling with that, including Ethiopia. How do we get more people into the financial system? Everybody may have a phone. Not everybody may have a bank account.
Kanagwa adds that this will not be competition to banks that are already offering the same service.
The mobile telecom, they make more money than the banks on a daily basis. They're earning every day. So they can be able to invest in some of that telecom infrastructure, which the banks ideally will not do. Because in retail banking, you load the cost and expect the returns to come later. But in banking, you're not going to do that. You have to look at the risk as well.
The new directive will allow Ethio Telecom, the country's only telecommunication company, to move into mobile money service. But it will lock out the services to 3 other foreign companies expected to join the country's telecom sector when Ethiopia goes through with its privatization plans.
Ethiopian government encouraging more mobile banking in the country. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you on this news bulletin. But for more on this and other stories, you can also log on our website on africa.tv. Many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Bye for now and do stay safe.
Have your say.
Fellow Gambians, my government has approved a $500 million emergency fund, which the Ministries of Health and Finance will work on for disbursement and use to fight COVID-19 menace.
xaalis bi tege yomb na waaye xam lu jafe mooy séddale bi niñ ko séddalee ak ndax danañ ko jox ñi ko yeeyoo wala duñ leen ko jox loolu moo jara laajte.
cos loo xam ne la nit yee tax ñu joxe ko te nit ñi ñoo leen fa teg te xaalis nit yi la comme xaalis population bi la wax dëgg yàlla li gënoon mooy ku nekk gis sa boppa
man su ma sañoon daal ñu séddoo ko nu mu waroo buñ si def xaaj loo ñii diw nañ ko si ku nekk loo war a am nga am ko.
askan bi seen dem ak dikk bu ñu wàññee mu jël ko def ko si loolu noonu participer ko si loolu noonu ba nga xam ne danañ mën a ànd ak moom si wàññi suñu dem ak suñu dikk.
génne leen xaalis bi nañ ko génnee ñu defar suñu réew mi defar réew nag da nga koy commencé njàng mu baax nit ñi di faju feebar di faju tan feebar di faju dafa xemul kombo loolu affaire bi du kombo rek nañ génne ci àll bi yëpp ñu defar fa hôpital li war man mi nekk kombo moo war ka nekk fototo moo war ka nekk Pokaw Njóogu moo war ko nekk feneen.
waaye nit doo ko mën a wax mu teg këram joxuloo ko dara lu mu lekk soo ñun balaa corona dañu rey xiif moo ñoo rey.
nguur bi su nekkee ne 500 millions Gambia ñaata population bi ñu ñaata lañ.
2 point or 1 point.
ok 2 point boobu noonu su nekkee dañ ko war a séddale si nit ñi ku nekk ñaata la war a am.
million su bëri soosu noonu nañ ko xaaj jox xel benn xaaf ñu téyegum ñu jël beneen xaaf bi yóbbu ko ci communauté bi ñu téyegum.
silang ni arda ko bulu courant lu sorota ani borolu sayin pentanglu panande nyante hakilo falol panankanne
ya foko ngata si suo kono man sala million be maburu nga bulo kono man sana la kuol bebe kuo be kala jeto hana nyil min fankana fontolen ko ngata si suo kono fotolo man tara man sa do kuol nin karo fate man tara kejo
xaalis boobu dañ ko war a xaaj ñu jël xaaj bi dugal ko ci wéru yaram bi ñaareel xaaj bi dugal ko ci askan bi.
Have your say.